is one of the things that I think that we all have to, some of the roads that we go down is just about throws me out of my chair. Also, I think maybe we might wind up with some traffic lights, but we need some stores. Our quality of life is going downhill. There's no two ways about it. We need that quality of life to go back up. And so that's something that we need to understand. Now, we have some handouts or little cards back there. We'd love for you to take some and hand them out to your neighbors and get them involved. The more people we have, the better voice we have. And we got some good representation, but the more we have, the better it is that we can go forward with this. And please take some of the handouts. Also, one of the things that would be important, if you don't mind, is donations. It costs money to put these signs up and other being able to send out a lot of the information. And the further along we go, the more it's information that we're going to be needing to do. And so with that, but if you don't mind, with donations, and we'll have to start doing that. We also need business sponsors, some of the businessmen that we can get some sponsorship and maybe put some signs in places that to get people more involved. I think it's important too. It takes a lot of time and money to do all this printing and stuff. I don't have, Janet, I don't have the information here that I was going to, where's Janet at? She's already. Is there something here that I had wrote all this stuff out and you was going to print it? Is it not here? Oh, I don't have it. There's nothing here, but anyway, there's. I wanted to give David Taylor an opportunity. He is heading up this thing with the fuel depot. It's not only going to affect just with the fuel depot, with, what's that? It's your phone. Oh my goodness, I had the thing turned off. Sorry.
It's probably your girlfriend.
No, I don't. Some kind of alarm. But anyway, there is a lot more to do with just as a fuel depot. There's going to be spurs with the trains. It's going to make the trains longer. And so I wanted to give him an opportunity to give an update on the information. I think it's very important we know about this fuel depot. And so with that, I'll turn it over to David Taylor.
Thank you, sir. Hopefully this thing works. I'm taking it with me. It's hard to talk when you're sitting down sometimes. Excuse me, Mickey. I have a sign here just to give you all an idea about the fuel depot and the location of the fuel depot. The downside is I do not have enough time to tell you every bad thing about a fuel depot to be put in this location. There is literally, just think about this. There's going to add 125 more fuel rail cars coming into the CSX rail yard off of Imison Road. They will be carrying over 3.5 million gallons of some type of a fuel, which is basically right now, I know of, liquid nitrogen, propane, or liquid nitrogen gas, propane, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and I don't know all the other ones. When I say this,
I found it. It's right here.
I actually have a team of us that's been together for about the last 4 weeks. There's about 10 or 12 of us that's been doing tons of research. One of them is Ms. Dana Roberts, which is also too on the committee of the infrastructure, along with Tamara, don't remember her last name, but Tamara. Also too, I met Harry Webster. And right now, there is about 5 people a part of the team at Chaffee Road Library to be able to ask the mayor questions about this fuel depot and the location they're assigned to put it. The way it was brought to us, that land that they're trying to put it is agricultural land. And Mr. Williams, I forgot about Mr. Williams as well. A lot of these folks are HOA presidents, but they are asking the mayor right now certain questions about this fuel depot. Keep in mind, and this is the research that we have done, Waterbrook Falls, 260 homes. St. James Subdivision, 429. Down here at the bottom, KB Homes is doing 219 houses on that land where the horses were at for a very long time. And then if you take just to the west of, you see all the little yellow dots, that is Summer Glen, 209 homes. Not to mention Trout River Bluff, not to mention Highland Chase. The reason why I say that is a calculation that I did just on jet fuel. Jet fuel alone, if it gets struck by lightning, one of these tanks at 500,000 gallons is 7.5 miles, and keep this in mind, combustion blast wave. There's a difference between shock wave and blast wave. That's just by lightning. Google it, a fuel tank getting hit by lightning. It has happened all over the place. Since 1943, just in the city of Jacksonville, we have had over 20 occasions of a fuel problem in just the city of Jacksonville. Back to about 1976, you will not find a lot of information, but from 76 all the way up to the most recent one in 93 is the last one, which was actually at the fuel depot, Trout River and St. Johns River, right there off of Hector Drive. That tank was an overspill on a 1.5 million gallon tank, and because the security guard drove his car in that direction, the spark from the car, my apologies for not staying on the mic, the spark from the car actually created it to blow up. They felt the shock wave in that particular case all the way downtown Jacksonville. So just to give you an idea how important it's not to be there. So think about your kids. Think about the school bus stops in this location. Think about another set of tracks. The green line that you see there is actually another set of tracks across Garden Street. The other thing is think about the 90-degree sharp curve on Imison Road, tractor trailer coming around that curve for one to go get fuel. And you talk about train delays now. They are telling us that they can take 32 cars across Garden Street within 4 minutes to make it to their rail yard right here. Not only that, the nearest house to this blast is 780 feet. That's by Mr. Castleberry on my road that I live on. So whenever we talk about going down different wormholes, actually, Miss Tamara Pipkin, she actually shared something with me today that actually just blew my mind. Give you an idea, I'm going off of memory, at 107 mile an hour wind from a blast wave at 3 PSI is going to actually put you on the ground and have you in serious medical injuries. So just think about it. If you get hit by a 107 mile an hour wind off of an explosion, if anybody is ever in the military, Mr. Jordan, we was in the military together, I know what a grenade feels like within 25 feet. That's nothing compared. You take a grenade, it's 15 ounces. You take a gallon of just diesel fuel, that's 7.62 gallons. So that is literally almost 7.5 grenades going off at one time at, in this case, in the calculation that also done, is 300 yards. The last thing that I really would like to speak about, I mean, I have tons of information. I don't want to take all the time because also, too, very important is our infrastructure, the trains blocking the tracks, the potholes, the way I really feel about it is Northwest Jacksonville is the last place in the city of Jacksonville. We're the only ones that literally have a dump in our backyard. Okay, so y'all keep that in mind. And whenever I say I literally right now refer to a team of folks that started up about 4 or 5 weeks ago about the fuel depot. About 4 months ago, thanks to Mr. Ray Pringle, Mickey, Dana, Tamerlyn, and some other folks on the steering committee and running the show for our infrastructure. I greatly glad I met them 4 months ago. As a community, when it comes to this meeting, and please write this down, please, actually I'm going to take 3 seconds. Everybody grab your phone, please. September the 6th at 6:30, City Hall. I need any and everybody that can attend the City Hall meeting. I would love for you to wear a red shirt. That's the support that we have, thanks to Ms. Dana Roberts coming up with the color. There's a meeting. Only thing I need y'all to do, show up in numbers. Numbers is what's hurting us right now. Just to give you an idea, Wednesday night, Ormond Beach is going through the same problem. They had over 400 people at City Hall meeting, and they are in bad shape in their situation. Just to give you an idea. Yes, I just found out today. That's why I'm saying it. I actually, when I say I just found out today, I've actually spoken to our councilmen and councilwomen about certain things. Hello? Oh, okay. My apologies. I literally spoke to them today and verified September the 6th. If y'all can make it there at 6:30, when you come into City Hall, there's a little blue card to fill out. Fill out the blue card. Put you oppose the fuel depot. And also to put, I do not wish to speak. Because the strategy, being strategic, and please believe in me right now. Everything that I've found out and also to learn from the people in our group, we only need 8 people to speak at City Hall. We just need numbers in the auditorium because there's a strategic way to get our point across to City Hall and all the councilmen. And I will say this, me counting the votes that we need 9. 9 votes is what we're needing. I will say that we're close, but we're not there. I'd be a lot happy if I felt like I had all 18 votes right now, but I know we do not have all 18 votes. Yes, ma'am. Please, that's the other thing is I do not know why they like to be pestered by an email. But yes, literally just send them emails day in and day out. And you can send them every day. I do not know why they like to open up their computer and see, oh, I got 2,000 emails, you know. But their ENA, their executive assistants, are actually the ones that see it. And then I guess it gets spreaded to the councilman. I will say this also too. District 12, Randy White. He's actually visited, and he also too today with the hurricane coming, I text him. He called me shortly after our emergency meeting to talk to me about these issues. Same thing with Reginald Gaffney, which is District 8. Also too, Miss Councilwoman Pittman, which is 10. And the other thing is today I got lucky and I was able to speak to Matt Carlucci today. He actually physically called me not within 15 minutes of me leaving him a voicemail. Also, fellow I was in the military with, I don't know if he remembers her. Her name was Tarona Clark Murray. She actually sits on the council. I got to meet her at the last City Hall meeting. I totally overlooked her. So whenever I say this, when I start counting the numbers and votes, I think we have a good chance to keep this out of our neighborhood. And I greatly appreciate the time of the church. Pastor Butler, thank you. And I greatly appreciate Ray and their committee giving me time to speak to all of y'all. If y'all have any questions after this, if y'all don't mind, after this, I don't want to take away from this. This was a special thing that I asked to be able to do. Believe me, I'm parked in a 250 truck right outside. I'm not leaving, and I answer any question you folks may have about this fuel depot. All right, VIP. I'm sorry. VIP, she got to park up front. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Actually, I know what she said, and actually, thank you. Sorry, Ray. Sorry, Ray. It's on Concerned Citizens of NW Jacks. That's a Facebook page. Also, if you grew up in Dinsmore, it's the other Facebook page. So between those, if you can't find it, my name is David Taylor. Go to my personal page. You will find it. There's a petition there that my wife created. And sign it. And with that being said, one second. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, sir, Harry Wester. That particular Harry, you remember Harry, he spoke on the signage thing. Thank y'all for your evening. Thank y'all for coming. And my last statement is, please think about what you invested your life in Dinsmore. Make sure you go meet your neighbors, because in the last 4 months, I have met more neighbors. I've been here since '96. In the last 4 months, I have met more people in this community in the last 4 months than I ever have. So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming.
Also, I want to introduce the Vice President of the Concerned Citizens of Northwest, Jack Mickey Roman. I'd like him to say a few words too.
Well, I think you're doing just a great job. I really don't have much to add other than buses. I've got employees that would like to be able to use the JTA bus, and there's no buses here. The only bus comes up there at the work center, and really, I don't think we're allowed to get on that bus.
No.
And so, when we use terms of infrastructure, we're also trying to address just the ability to walk on a sidewalk to a bus stop and pick somebody up or drop somebody off, Now, we were successful in putting on the city website, what was it? It was a V word. Somebody help me, Jenny. But we requested in the 5-year budgetary plan a sidewalk to go up to the Rose, a sidewalk to go over to the Gate gas station, and I guess what we're fighting for is under the fair share, the developers, Corner Lot and all, are only going to build the sidewalk in front of their property. So there's going to be all these gaps, just like we have a gap over there, where Trout River is, but there's and the church here, there's a sidewalk, but you can't go from A to B. And so I just submit that, and other than that, we're doing great.
All right, thank you. And I would like to give an opportunity for the CSX representatives. Would you like to say a few words? Wally Saruga.
Peggy and I have nothing to do with this vehicle coming. So, we're here for block crossings.
Right.
We were just, this has been in the wheelhouse for a while. I'm sorry. Peggy and I are here for the block crossings. We have nothing to do with this new project that they're putting together. I'm sorry, we can't respond back to that.
But they're here for the block crossing, is that?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Block crossings, that's what we've been working on, nothing about the fuel.
No, and that's, we understand that, hopefully.
What you've been working on? Where are we at on the crossing?
I didn't want to jump out of, did you have it?
Well, we'll take some questions, but I don't want to jump on the CSX folks. They're here, as I invited them here as in promised them both that we wouldn't, would be nice people. But I asked them to come just for solidarity. And I think it's wonderful that they did come, and it shows that they are concerned. And to prove their concern, they will show up, and that's wonderful, and we appreciate that. And David, one more thing, okay.
Okay, so Ray mentioned earlier, but so that it resonates, and we can't go into a lot of details, but we had a very powerful, very important meeting, like he said, a couple weeks ago, downtown with the right people, okay? Except for Norfolk Southern didn't show up, but they're supposed to come next month. And so for the next 3 months approximately, there's about 4 or 5 hot issues that, and we don't want to get into it tonight until we have positive, and we don't want to put these people on the spot. You know, we're very thankful that they came. But I want to assure you that our voices are being heard, and, you know, the right people, all the right politicians, all the right people were in the room, and we'll be getting back to everybody here, you know. Probably we're going to have a meeting towards the end of September and then towards the end of October, and by then we'll probably be able to report to the people, wouldn't we, President?
Yes, I think so. And
We can elaborate on the block
yes,
crossing.
would you? Well, surely, go ahead.
To answer your questions, let me explain what we got going on here, and then you can. Let me explain what we got going on right now. As they mentioned that we had a meeting 3 weeks ago, and what came out of that meeting. We are working with the Norfolk and Southern. We have a lot of our blockages going into the yard, as you're well aware of the intermodal yard, in which we have problems getting into. We have to cross an interlocker. It's like you people going through an intersection. And what happens is that coming off our main line, they get a signal. And that signal guides them to the next signal. It's like you going from one stop signal to the next stop signal. You get green, yellow, red. They get a yellow, and they take that, and they can't tell what the next signal is because it's going around a curve. Once they take that curve, they already committed. They can't stop. So they keep on going, and they sit there at that signal. And that signal causes the block crossings that you have right now. We have changed our operations that where trains are going north used to come out the same direction. So a train would have to sit that's going south into the yard, had to wait for a train to come out of the yard. So now what we do is we run the trains south out of the yard and they loop around. We couldn't do that before because there was track work going on, and also with the NS, they wouldn't allow us to do that. But we came last 6 months ago, 7 months ago, we put it in place. So while one train is leaving, the other one comes in. That's how close these schedules are. So what we have now, we're working on, and the gentleman asked at the last meeting, why can't the trains lay back? It's a great idea, and we already had that work in the process. So what we're doing right now is working with the Norfolk Southern. They control the diamond for us to get into the yard. We have to cross their track. So what we're doing is they're taking their signal and putting it on our dispatcher screen. So when a train comes out of the north that goes south, the dispatcher can see the signal at the interlocker, the crossing, if you will. So they can say, hey, you got the signal, a yellow, to go around. That means you're coming up to an approach. Don't take it, lay back of the crossings until they can get the signal to go across Norfolk Southern. We've started that a week of the meeting, that Monday, I forget when the meeting was, but we start already looking into it. Of course, we have to work with the Norfolk Southern, and the Norfolk Southern is a big component of this block crossings also, so they're working hand in hand with us. Our communication has got to get better with them, and that's what we're doing. So right now, talking to our signal and communication people to get it put on our screens for the dispatchers is like a airport. Okay, so they can see the planes coming, they see the runways and all of that. That's what our dispatchers have. They can't see crossings right now. We have a new system that's gonna be coming into effect. It's where they can see crossings, how big the train is, and how far apart from the crossings they are. So there's a possibility if they have to cut the crossing, if they're gonna be there a while, or to lay back of them. So the fastest what we can do right now, within the next month and a half, 2 months, is put this in with the Norfolk Southern, where we lay back, the dispatchers tell them to lay back until you got the signal to go directly into the yard. That's what we got going on right now, technology. Look, and we don't want to block crossings, honest to God. It's not good for anybody. And the thing is right now also that we have, what we have done in the last month and a half, 2 months, is that when you call in that 1-800 number, if there's a block crossing, call the 1-800 number. That's our police department. They get it, and they send a message through the system to our chief dispatcher, who looks over everything. And they say, hey, Trout Road is blocked. What's going on? The chief dispatcher goes down, talks to the dispatcher, got to get this train moving, or get the crews to cut the crossing. So that's been a month and a half. I don't want to jinx us. Hopefully that it's gotten a little bit better here within the last month and a half, 2 months. Not a little, well. Sorry. Well, what we showed it was, but I ain't gonna argue with y'all. But, yeah, well, and that's what we're doing. We're going through all of our, we can tell you the times that the worst blockage is and the days which the worst days are. August is the worst month ever for this area, for a lot of areas. So it's schools going back, vacations are going, more people going to work and that. So we're working very hard on it. We plan on getting that put in, and then we're gonna go to hopefully another system where the NS will forego this interlocker, because right now it's automatic. A train pulls up there and stops until it's all clear, has to wait for it to get, so the NS trains clear up where we can go across. We're asking the NS for their dispatchers to take over the control of that, so if they have a train 2-3 miles out, give us a light, let us cross, and then let your train go. So that's all in the process right now. Sir, all way in the back, you had your yarn up for a while.
How are you today, sir?
Good, and yourself?
Act like I have a solution for the train. We can't always prevent the train from being on the track. What some of us would like is to not play any, meeny, miny, moe, which way we're going home, that we're gonna catch the train. My solution is there should be some type of alert that goes to your phone. Because when those lights pop on, there should be something connected that should send it to an app. If you want to sign up for the app, it'll say, all right, well, you know, Jones Road train is on the tracks. That'll tell you, hey, go down to Cisco Gardens or turn on the Iverson. And we're not the only ones with that issue, but I think that if you guys implemented it, because we all use our cell phones, people around Jacksonville, people in the United States would appreciate that, because now they're getting an alert, hey, don't turn on Jones Road, because you're gonna get it all the way
Download to your phone. That's just what it is.
and you can't cross the railroad track for another 30 minutes.
You know, and you're right, the technology is there. There's some of the railroads at locations are trying to do that. Just like us right now, we're trying to put in a system that when a train is sitting on a crossing 10 minutes or more, an alert goes off to notify the locals. But to your point, yes, it's just like when you're driving, like I was driving down here today, and I get a pop-up in a red because there's an accident down there on King and that.
I personally watched JSO sit at Jones Road train
Exactly.
Yeah, we,
As soon as those lights come on, that little piece of technology can send an alert, because that's what's gonna power that device. And that's for every railroad track in the United States, it can happen.
well, I'll have to work on that. We have a couple other questions, and then we need to go on with the meeting. Yes, sir?
If, Google Maps knows where we are at all times. Everything's on there with the train. We know when there's a wreck 80 miles away. We know when there's a car stalled 500 miles away. It couldn't be that hard to get CSX on there and the train.
Wait a minute, let's, gentleman in the blue shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure these have answers, but I would like to have them answered. One, I assume there has to be an environmental impact study for that depot that you built, is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
And it has not happened yet, correct?
Let me answer that in a minute. That's
Yeah,
actually what I'm
we
trying to
need
find
to
out.
stay on the trains right now, I'm sorry. Yes, sir, the gentleman with his hand up.
Is there a way to find a train schedule so we know what time they're doing it? Is it just a come in as you go? Because if we have a schedule, we know, all right, we can go this way today, or, because my daughter always used the bathroom in my car, and I almost sent y'all a bill. Because she had to use the bathroom that bad, and I can't get to my house. And that's a problem.
Yeah, we can put a train, we're working on that. That was brought up at our last meeting. We're waiting for the approval. We can give you the train schedule, the trains departing out of there. But arrival, a lot of these trains come across the country. Come from Chicago and everything. And for them to be on their schedule and that, which we try to keep our intermodal time trains pretty much because of all the hot UPS traffic that's on there and picking up all Amazon stuff and that now. We're trying to keep the schedules tight, but we get hit delays all the way across. And here, the worst thing, if I give you a schedule and the train's supposed to be at this location at 1500, and you say, okay, I know not to go, but the train's running 2.5 hours late because it broke down, engine locomotive failures or whatever, or a train broke down in front of it, or they didn't have a crew to put against it, and it shows up 17:30, it could, but that's a one-off, right? There's ways we can post that to people, but don't hold it for granted.
Maybe post it in
Wait,
just
wait,
like what he was saying about the accidents, when you drive and it shows an accident, shows a wreck, add the train to it, it shows the train on the track. Oh, okay, now I gotta get on 295, get up on Bridge and go all the way around.
wait,
Turning and then seeing the traffic.
yes, sir. And we know that. We're gonna have to have 2 more questions, and we need to go on. Back in the back. Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody who has all the numbers with the codes for the check? Can you put that in the email? Because I didn't even know there was a 1-800 number. What is the 1-800 number that you guys are speaking of?
Yes. Do you have it? I don't have it on me.
We will put it out. We got your information now, and when my wife back there, or where's she at? Okay, you got it now.
Okay, it's 1-800-232-0144. 1-800-232-0144. And it's important to make sure that you know the location, the roadway. If you can there's a crossing number at that location on a little blue and white sign. If you can get that 6-digit and 1 alpha character DOT number, crossing number, then they'll know exactly where you are.
Thank you. Could you say it one more time, please?
1-800-232-0144.
And we will send it out. We will send it out to you also.
Thank you.
One more question right here, and that's it.
Why can't you make the trains shorter instead of longer? That's happening now. Your trains, if they were shorter, wouldn't take so long to get into the yards. Because y'all have added more trains. Because used to, years
We can do that. We can make the train shorter, but going from 7 trains, you're gonna go to 20 trains. So the bigger the train, it depends. Well, the yard, you know, it has a capacity of so much, and once they hit that goal and they're trying to get the other train out, if he has problems getting out, the tracks get full. But we, you know, if we go smaller trains, you're gonna have a lot more trains.
Yes.
Then they wouldn't have so many calls.
Okay. All right, but we need to go on.
Hey, Ray, for 1 second.
Yes.
When we were in the meeting a couple weeks ago, didn't you guys say that you,
Say out, they can't hear.
You want this?
we were in the meeting 3 weeks ago, didn't you guys actually say you hired somebody, created a new position just to help with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that how hard that they are really working for us. The congressman in the meeting, Congressman Dean, Senator Yarborough, Representative Black, the meeting was full. They were kind enough to come with like 5 of their representatives, and they have actually hired a new person, a new staff member, just to help us with this problem. So
And-
I don't want you guys to leave here thinking that it was just a show. They are actually here trying to help us.
Thank you, Debbie. I do want to add, I've been dealing with this problem for a long time, for at least about a decade. I'm Jacksonville born and raised, Northside born and raised, graduated Andrew Jackson, so it means a lot for me to see these problems through and trying to resolve them. Now, just recently, Wally came on with his 46 years' experience. Our leadership determined that we needed more help on block crossing issues because of longer trains and that kind of thing, and they brought Wally in to specialize in it. So he's got, like I said, 46 years of experience, and they take it seriously. So we're hoping to, you know, make our way through some of these issues, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get through this. So I just beg of your patience until we can try to figure this out. And please call the 800 number. Otherwise, we don't always know it's a problem.
And we started, 3 months ago, we had our first meeting, and we thought we'd have a handful. Mickey was worried we wouldn't have anybody. Well, it wound up, there was 156 people signed up, and then there was a lot of them didn't show up, and with our little hand-printed poster signs out along the track. So we've come a long ways in just these 3 months. And we're going to, I think the longer we go at this, the better it's going to get. And it shows the main thing is folks like you and I are concerned. We live here in this community, and it's aggravating as the dickens to sit at a train track for 45 minutes. I know I left the meeting the other day at City Hall, and I come home, and I waited at the track 45 minutes, and I was one of the back part of it in the line. So it is something that it's creating a lot of problems. But I wanted to go with some of the other things that we're looking at in our community. Trains is one of the things that's the big deal. But a lot of the other things that we're looking at too is when I'm talking with some of the businessmen, and of course David is a businessman. He has an electrical company. When you got employees that are sitting at the train tracks, waiting to get across, it's costing them not just money and fuel, but money and time. And it's costing not just hundreds, but thousands of dollars to these individuals, and it's costing us. When we're sitting at the track and it's hot, we're going to keep our car running and the air conditioning going, and it's burning up our $4 a gallon gas, which is it's very expensive. It's time spent on the salaries, but also it's blocking our ambulances, it's blocking our police, blocking us from going to and fro from work. I know with people when they leave from work and coming back home, bang, there you are at a train track for however long. And so that's something that the longer we stay and the more that we get involved, the better things are going to go for us, and we get our elected officials, which are already on board, and it's going to take that time. And it's something that's important that we stay focused on what we want in this community, and we've been left out for years and years and years and years and years. I've talked to some of the city council members, and they've told me, says, you people have been left out forever. And I mean, with our parks, with every kind of thing you can think of, our roads we need better roads, because if they're going to build all these communities, and they are going to build them, we're not opposed to growth. We just want growth with quality of life involved in it. And and going on with blocking our school buses. I know my daughter works at the school down here, and she's always having a lot of problems. The children, if the buses can't get to pick up the kids, then the children are out there running around, and the folks at the school are trying to herd them in and keep them from getting hurt. And it's like Murphy's Law. If it keeps happening, something is going to happen. And it's just like what happened just down the road at the event the other day. But I'm just going to list them all. The infrastructure. One of the things I want to see is some sidewalks. I can't even get out to my mailbox because of people. They have their cars going wide open. They're headed somewhere, but it's dangerous. There's no way in the world that our children can ride our bicycles. There's no way in the world that we want our children on the roads out here. It's unsafe. The Dunn Avenue across US 1 on the east side of US 1, they got sidewalks on both sides of the road going to nowhere. And then they say, well, we don't know if we can afford putting sidewalks here. There's no reason why we can't have sidewalks like everybody else has sidewalks. You go to these other communities and we want sidewalks. Also, we want to see a police station on this side of the tracks. It's going to happen one of these days, and we don't want it. But also need the fire and ambulances. There is events happen that the ambulance couldn't get to the person and they died. There's no reason for that. We're as important as anybody else. Stores. I've chatted with some of the local leaders here. It's been a while back now, and asked about putting a store here. Oh no, we don't want them on this side of the tracks. Why? There's got to be a mindset change down in City Hall. I don't want this to fall through the cracks anymore. I'm tired of being fall through the cracks. I want somebody to hear what we got to say. Also, potholes in the roads, just bumping, and it's like going down to Jamaica. If anybody's been down there, it's a zoo down there. But last but not least is an overpass. People say, well, it costs too much. They put overpasses everywhere else. I know it costs money, but I think we're important enough to give us an overpass. I know the train people would love to see us have an overpass, and so would I. Pardon? And so I want to open it up to some Q&As now, and so one question apiece. There's a gentleman back there in the back had his hand up a long time. I can't see. Scotty Blair. All right.
Hey, this is for the CSA people. I'm a small business owner out here in Dinsmore myself. Dave was actually one of my friends. My kids ride their bikes around the neighborhood. When the trains are blocked, this is my biggest concern. You know, all the kids, we all grew up in the streets throwing footballs, shooting basketball, all that kind of stuff. When these train crossings are blocked,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what are you doing about schools? With all these housing projects, Dinsmore Elementary cannot handle these kids that are coming in here. You've got to address the school issue too. So what are y'all doing about that?
Well, that's what we're here. We got our city officials, and we are. I know Ms. Plott. Well, I just mentioned about the schools a while ago. Yes, I did. I did. I said the school buses and the children. Now that's good enough. Thank you. Yes, back there.
Yes, sir. To piggyback off what the gentleman just said, on Trout or on Garden, I don't know if you all have really paid attention. All of us, that lives in the area, we know it's only two ways, going and coming. And because people are trying to get home, it can back all the way up to New Kings Road. And then you have those people going on the wrong side of the road.
Yep.
And then there's cars that have
Yep.
tried to go around the track that's now it's oncoming traffic. There's been times when there's been semi-trucks going on the wrong side of the road to get into the yard that's over there. So it's extremely dangerous. And I mean, we're not here just, to come in and complain. We seriously need your help because it is dangerous. I sat in my car and I've had cars face to face and there's nowhere to go because there's a ditch. So they try to turn into, somebody else's yard or you got to try to back up. It is extremely dangerous and most of the time it's in the morning times and it's definitely in the evening when there's rush hour traffic. Outside of that, they made some changes to that crossing right at Garden and now it's like a roller coaster. It used to be, better when you actually cross over it, but it's so uneven. There are times when you can go across the track and it's just like butter. It just glides right across there. But now your car is all over the place as well, and that's not safe either because if people are trying to race
Yep.
and beat trains, then imagine what that could, result in. So we truly, truly need your help.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we chose to be here, because we need to hear your concerns. Because, we understand that we're blocking crossings, and that's unacceptable, we get that. But we don't get to hear some of those other issues that we're not aware of. So this really helps hearing your side of the story.
And if I may, I had a process in place at one point. I would send an email. I would call, JSO to complain. I would also call the 800
Yeah.
number. Those dispatchers were very rude. They're not compassionate or sympathetic or empathetic. It's like we're a nuisance to them, but they don't understand we're trying to get home. So I've done that. And then on the website, it tells you could call. At one point, it told you could call if there was a train block in the track. I've done that. And then
Yeah.
when you call, they says, oh, it doesn't meet the criteria. This is not considered an emergency. But that's not what your site said. When you send it, if you go onto the site, at one point it just told you it had to be an emergency. But when you send that email, then you get a kickback. It tells you when you can actually call that number. And a train blocking a track is considered an emergency. And it doesn't say that it has to be any particular reason. I don't know if you guys have made that adjustment because it's been a while since I've, sent that email, but please take a look at that as well.
A lot has changed over the last 6 years, so some of that has changed. But continue to call because, Wally's getting these notifications, I get these notifications, and he's actually speaking with dispatchers.
And thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you for the comment. Yes, ma'am.
I have something that nobody's even mentioned, and I've been in Dinsmore since 1962. It was a quiet neighborhood, okay? And it was woods. I mean, you might hear a bobcat or a whippoorwill, but not a train blowing its horn 5 times out your bedroom window. Now, I know that in some areas and they wait, and then they blow 2 more times. I mean, this is something that y'all can handle. I don't think this needs a representative. I think you two need to discuss this with your people, that people sleep next to that railroad track. And when you blow your horn, I mean, Tom, I'd love to take a gun and shoot Tom in the head. And I raise dogs in Dinsmore, and when the train comes by and they blow it for that long, my dogs are gonna bark, or they're going to scream. So the thing is that they've got to respect that we are a community and that we sleep at night.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're,
I don't know who it is that's doing it, but I do know that I love John because he only goes beep, beep, but Tom,
Yeah, there's one that just
but-
lays on the
and
horn.
and hopefully,
get up and go follow that train around Garden Jones Road to get the number of that train so I can call and report Tom.
unfortunately, we can't control that. That's controlled by the government, the FRA, who we follow their rules.
Say something to him about
Hopefully, John, that you like, doesn't get caught by a Fed inspection because you'll be fined personally $5,000. There is a law that how you have to blow for a crossing.
Well, some of them blow
And
way beyond, yeah.
It
All right,
depend-
we have, way back in the back over on the right with the hat with the little thing on.
CSX, I don't know if you have done this already, but when they're doing like a lot of construction around, like they're doing right now in Garden, are you guys coordinating with the city or county to say, hey, I know you're starting a work project out there, can you let us know because we got trains running? Because that also adds to, they gotta stop traffic and they're stopping traffic and if the train comes, it's even worse. So just wondering if you guys coordinate with the county and city when they got, a lot of projects going on.
Where is he?
If they choose to involve us, yes. They should always involve us if there's adjacent construction. Now, if it's not adjacent to our tracks, then sometimes we don't know about it. Yeah, and so, yeah, it certainly can impact, all the construction vehicles can certainly impact the traffic and the crossings. But if they are
He's got a chair right
upfront
there.
and involving
There's
us,
a chair right
then we will definitely walk through the process with them.
Okay, we're going to take 2 more questions. Yes, sir. Waving his hands.
You had mentioned something about infrastructure and wanting sidewalks. Do you know if there is any plans whatsoever to widen Garden, Jones Road, and Trout Road?
I haven't heard of any plan. That's the reason we're here, so that we can let the folks know.
Has that issue been raised and been put forth to the people in power?
Yes, sir. I'd like to stop just a minute. I want to introduce our city councilman, Reggie Gaffney Jr. Thanks for coming. Would you like, I'll give you a chance to say
I just
something.
want to apologize for my tardiness. I had another meeting at 6 o'clock, but, y'all can hear me?
Put
I'm
it-
sorry. No, I
put-
just want to apologize, for my tardiness. I had another meeting to attend, but, for the sake of time, I'm not going to, talk. I'm just here to answer questions, so if anyone have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, now, we will have some questions, but now be respectful, please. 1 question, person, way back in the back. With your hand up.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am?
That's you.
Yes, ma'am.
What it was is
Okay.
Reggie heard it.
Okay.
write me your name and your address and your telephone number, I'll make sure I get on it first thing in the morning. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. No, you've had, here,
He was trying to finish his question.
oh,
He was trying to
oh,
finish
I'm sorry, all right, here, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just want to point out that Pritchard Road just finished repaving. And Pritchard Road was repaved when the conditions in Iverson, Jones, Garden is worse than Pritchard before it got paved.
He was trying to finish his question.
And I guarantee that when we turn into that road on Iverson, that's iffy that you're gonna make it to the other end.
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that to my attention. So Pritchard Road is not my district. That's not my district. And keep in mind, it's important that me to be very straightforward with you guys. I only been in the office in 2 months. Right now, it is a priority to get Garden Street repaved, but you got to give me time. Things not gonna happen overnight. Trust me, I know I understand the importance of getting things done. But Pritchard Road is not my district, but I do plan on getting Garden Street repaved. It's only been 2 months. I was elected, I think, May 17 or something like that. But I'm on top of it. I will give you my personal cell phone number. You can hold me accountable. But right now,
I can answer that question about Pritchard.
oh, you,
Just to let you know, Pritchard Road in Imison being repaved right now was something that was passed 14, 15 months ago. And it's just now gotten to the point to where it's able to be repaved. It had nothing to do with Reggie or anybody else. So that was something that was done last year.
Okay, Eddie, you had your hand up.
My question's for CSX. Traditionally, ever since the railroad went from the east coast to the west coast, that drove this golden spike and all that stuff, railroads got done anything railroad wanted to get done. So, could y'all want to put an overpass in Dinsmore for it? Yes, please. I mean, if you guys got behind it with the clout that the railroad has in the government, we could get some federal funding in here. I mean, because it's clearly, the only real fix for the railroad and for this community is for us to have an
Agree.
overpass where your trains don't stop our cars don't get hit by your trains. And lo and behold, if there wasn't a crossing between a car and a train, you wouldn't have to blow your whistle at 3 o'clock in the morning and wake them up.
Exactly. So I have met with the city about last year sometime with one of our engineering folks, and they showed us a concept to grade separate, put a bridge over Trout River. We had talked about having New Kings or Old Kings Road, but they did show us a concept for Trout River. Things have changed a little bit at the city since then, but they are aware of that concept, and we have kind of guided them on getting some of the federal funds. We can contribute some, but not much, but enough that we'd like to see this done too.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. What's his name? The bald headed guy?
I'm not sure what his name is.
Yes, we have the gentleman with the blue T-shirt and the thing, the fish on him.
Yeah, Councilman Reggie, so at the end of Garden Street, it's narrower, right? And then, of course, on Jones right there, it's narrow. You're getting it repaved, but are you widening? I mean, mailboxes are getting hit, people are running off the road just to not get hit head on by a dump truck.
yeah. So thank you for
We had
bringing.
a school bus that collided with a dump truck. Are those roads, is that part of your agenda?
Yeah, that's Randy. So yeah, this is a good educational opportunity. So Garden Street is my district. When it go to, I think, Jones and the railroad tracks, yeah, it stopped right over there. So Garden Street is the only street I really have in the district. So when you make that little left, what's the name of that street right there?
Well, I mean, even continuing all the way down to the state park or the
That's
state
Randy's
forest down.
That's not my district. That's not my district.
You want me to answer it for you?
Yeah.
Hey, one sec, I can tell you, literally, if you're on Garden Street and you turn on Old Kings, you're on Garden, you're going that way, you go through the sharp curve left. As soon as you make it to the railroad tracks, that's where Reggie's line stops. Randy White is on the opposite side of the tracks. And Randy, and like I say, Randy White is actually aware of it. It's something I've actually already spoke to him about because of all of us living here. And he ain't gave me no information back about it whatsoever, but he is aware of it, just to let you know.
Okay, all right, no, well, Pastor
Oh, Butler.
Butler.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, pardon?
I have found out that anytime I've had to call the city number for any concerns for our community, I have found out that any number that I have called, I've always got an answer. I've always got a prompt decision, and if they were able to respond, they did, and they didn't. So I'm really proud that we have people we can talk to, but I will encourage everybody, if you do call them, be nice.
Yes.
Act like you're talking to your grandmother, because they're human as well. But I do have a question. Is there a specific number that you can call about a specific stretch of sidewalks around here?
Yep, so this is what I do. This is what I do. I'm gonna give out my personal cell phone number. I'm big on transparency, I'm big on communication.
He, don't listen, he'll be asleep.
Yeah. And then you gonna force me to change my number. But this is what I wanna do. I'm gonna give out my personal cell phone number because at the end of the day, you know, I have 60,000 individuals in my district. I cover Ocean Way, I cover over here, I cover the whole entire Dunn Avenue, I cover Lim Turner. I can't be everywhere. I don't know about every pothole. I don't know about every sidewalk issue. It's a lot that need to be done in the district. I can name at least, and I want to have a transparent conversation for a lot of you guys how government works. A lot of this stuff don't happen overnight. Just because you want sidewalks, it does. It's 7 different communities asking for sidewalks. I'm gonna just be perfectly honest. But anyway, long story short, I'm gonna give you guys my cell phone number, and y'all can reach out to me. It's 904. Okay, 904-294-4664. I will say this. If I don't answer, please text me, you know, because I do have a million. If I don't know who you are, I'm not going to pick up. I'm doing this because I want to be transparent. I want to be open. I want to be fluent in communication. I don't want you guys to have to come to this meeting and have to address issues. You can actually reach out to me. But feel free to reach out. Please be reasonable, practical in terms of reaching out to me. I mean, if you could go to another department without calling me for something simple, I mean, try not to call, but I mean, if you have to call me, feel free. This don't give me no work to do, I mean, for something that you could do for yourself.
Do I call you about a stretch of sidewalks, or is there another person I can call directly to them?
So that's a great question. So this is what I would say. So reach out to the city first. If the city is not, this is what I tell people all the time. If the city don't respond, then let me know. And then I put pressure on the city to respond.
You gonna take me to lunch tomorrow?
We'll see. So it's 904-294. Yes, ma'am. 4664. And it don't necessarily have to be in reference to sidewalks or infrastructure. It could be resources. The city have tons of resources. Whether it's getting your lights, utilities turned on, rent being paid, roofing, whatever the case may be. I want to be a resource for you guys. That's why you guys elected me, and that's why I'm giving out my personal cell phone number, because I want you to hold me accountable.
Yeah, just a minute. Yes.
So I want to address, just basically one thing, but in terms of Anderson Road that is being paved, that's not going to last. They're just putting a thin coat of asphalt, and like somebody said, you can already see the dips and all of that. We understand that's not going to last, not with the kind of trucks that come in and out of there, and all the other trucks that come in and out of there. That's unfortunate, because that to me is a lot of money wasted. The main thing that I have a question about, because we were talking about the trains ringing at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning, whatever the case may be, and
States and cities may have those laws, but federal law preempts it.
The only law, no, there's no federal law how long you can block a crossing. There's a rule out there, and what we did, we made our own rule, which we presented to the federal regulation, and it's 10 minutes. And are we violating it? Yes. Is it gonna happen again? Yes. But we gotta get better, and we're chomping on it. And it's communication, and we gotta hold people accountable. And that's what we need to do.
Well,
There's not penalties
gonna
as
let
in
somebody else
fines or anything. There's
If you got something
penalties
to say,
against the crew members that could be
just
disciplined.
come on. All right.
There's always some kind of factor to that. It's a lot of proof going forward, but we don't have anything on that.
We need to start wrapping up. Do you have the last question right here? This young lady right here.
Thank you, Mr. Pringle. Bridget Smith from Waterbrook. My question is, what is the process, if you could explain, Mr. Gaffney, to get a line item on the budget for these, projects that we want done? And from what I'm hearing, they could take over a year to actually get done after they're approved. So what is the process to get a line item on the budget? And maybe that's what we need to work on?
So that's a great question. So I think first, the community need to come together and come up with a consensus issue. I mean, so often, this neighborhood want that, somebody in the front want that, somebody in the back want that. I can't take care of every one project, but what I can do, if you guys was to come together and come up with 2 issues, and then I can handle it that way. So I think what we need to do, maybe one meeting, I know this about the train, with the overpass, but that's, like I stated in the first meeting, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably an 8-year process, longer than that. But we got the ball rolling. But anyway, so what we need to do one day,
If we go at this pace, yeah, but I disagree with it. I think there's processes.
Well, wait a minute. Let him speak. Let him speak.
That'll get the law.
Let him speak. Let the.
so what the community need to do is come up with a consensus issue project that you guys wanna have done, besides the overpass with the train. If y'all could come up with that in terms of like, sidewalks, I already started working on the repavement of the road, but if you guys want sidewalk, drainage, I'm not sure what the other issue may be, please just let me know. But whatever it is, make sure it's consensus. Everybody agree, not everyone, but at least 51%. And then I can move forward and make sure it's a line item in the budget.
We're gonna have to wrap the meeting up. We just keep asking questions, and we appreciate. No, we've already heard. No, you've had. No. Please, we got enough. You've asked questions on several occasions. We need to close up, sir. We need to close up. We gotta stop the meeting. You had your chance. Please sit down. Please. We've had a good meeting, and there's no sense in just keep asking questions when we need to close. And we're going to give David Taylor a chance to say a couple of words, and then we'll close the meeting up. Thank you for coming, but
I will say I have not started none of this until literally about 3 months ago. But the number one thing I've learned is a stand-up outburst does not get you nowhere. I have not had a city council person actually give me an opportunity to talk to them because of someone having an outburst. We have to respect one another.
yes.
It's very hard. You got to have tons of patience, and I promise you, you want to scream, you want to bend their ear, but a lot of people have already left, but this is the one way that I've been fortunate enough to wiggle my way. He's been to my home twice in the last 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. I've been in their ear with patience respect to one another. I don't try and overstep their tongue while they don't overstep my tongue. And that's not what I was wanting to say, but I'm just trying to let y'all know, y'all, please have patience. You're going to hear things that you don't like. Everybody's not going to agree on everything. But what we have to agree on is what's best for our community, and it's going to take a long process to get that done. And I say that because that's one thing that Miss Debbie here came up to me earlier when we was at FSCJ. People got out of hand, yelling, screaming, jumping, bouncing, this, that, or the other. We are adults. Don't act like the kids sometimes when they don't get their way if they don't want a piece of candy. So just keep that in mind. But the last thing I was really needing to say, Miss Dana Roberts, will you please raise your hand? She's located right there.
Yes, she's part of this.
That's right. She's also supposed to be part of this little location right here.
Hey there, good to see you.
If y'all are having problems with the petition that we have about the fuel depot, please get with her. She can send y'all the link, text it to you or whatnot. She's going to help us out in that way, and I greatly appreciate all of y'all's time, and please have patience with this. Thank you.
Yep. I don't need it. Very, very well put. And I'd like to give a hand for the CSX folks, for them coming. Thank you very much. And our very own City Council member, Reginald Gaffney Jr., thank you very much. And thank you very much, folks, for coming. I know that it gets a little bit sideways, and thank Debbie Potts for coming and representing Dean Black. Let's give him yes. And we appreciate you, and reach out to the concerned citizens of Northwest Jacks, or get a hold of David. We'll send you the information on all these things that are going on. We're going to have more meetings with downtown with Congressman Aaron Bean and Representative Dean Black, also with the Clay Yarborough, the senator, state senator, with Reginald Gaffney Jr., and also, I think, with Randy White, Councilman Randy White. But they were there at the last meeting, and we're going to continue having these until we get it resolved. And you folks stay tuned and stay involved too. We appreciate you coming. We thank you for your questions, and hopefully we'll get things rolling even more, but we got to stay involved. We can't give up. That's one of the things that we can't do, but being respectful and not getting a little bit sideways, because it's not going to do any good whatsoever. As long as we respect each other, and these folks have taken time out of their busy schedule to come and meet with you. And I tell you what, it takes a lot of bravery sometimes, because you really don't know what's going to happen. But thank you folks for coming, and thank you each one of you for being here. Appreciate it. And with that, we'd like for Pastor Winston Butler to close us with prayer.
All right. Expect to see you all Sunday morning. If not, I'll have a bucket back here. You can put an offering in now. All right. All right. Let's all stand together, and let's remember to pray for Florida. We've got the storm coming this way. We don't want anybody have a disaster. And thank you for being here tonight. If you're leaving, take all your belongings with you. Your beverage bottles. You can leave your purses and your cell phone here tonight. We'll take control of those. But thank you for being here tonight. Leave carefully. We're leaving off the parking campus. So we're going to turn right or left and watch for the traffic. All right? Let's pray. Thank you, Father, for this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.